Excellent!
What's up guys, welcome to Paul's Hardware. I am excited about today's video, and in fact right now I have no idea how anything is going to go. You might know more than I do at this point based on what I decide to title this video and stuff, but I just found out that there is a package headed down here. It is Wednesday late afternoon right now. The package will be arriving tomorrow on Thursday. It's a very important one. I want to try to do something with it as soon as possible when it arrives, but first I need to set up some testing equipment. For starters, we got this right here, and if you watched a video I posted, I don't know, a month or two ago, you might know this is a 3970X Threadripper 32 core processor. So let's get that ready. Pause briefly to say hello to Hero. Hi Hero, good boy Hero. Over here in this box, got some ASUS gear, including a motherboard for that Threadripper 3 processor. So motherboard, the Zenith 2 Extreme from ASUS, the processor of course, the 3970X, and then these guys right over here. These are RTX 3090 Gaming X Trio graphics cards from MSI. There is a way to connect these two together, but that hasn't arrived yet. So things are looking slightly better over here. I have a test bed to work with, and I'm asking myself the question, what is like the best hardware setup that I can put together right now for testing two-way RTX 3090s? Of course, I already showed you the Zenith 2 Extreme and the 3970X. I was considering the 10900K, but had to make a choice one way or the other, and I need to get this set up anyway, so I might as well do that. I needed a cooler. I realized they just sent me this tray CPU, and Threadripper CPUs don't ship with coolers anyway. I also realized that since they just sent me that, I needed a bracket, so I fished that out of one of the boxes for my other Threadripper 2 CPUs. Fortunately, the mount is the same for TR4 and TRX4, but that did mean that I needed an Ace-Tech style mount, the round one like that. So the only one that I really have that's viable for that is the NZXT Kraken X62. I have an X63 as well, but this one's already ready to go. So that should work for now. So that means I got my CPU and cooler, I've got my motherboard, got my graphics cards. I need the rest of the system. Test bed right there. The fastest kit of quad channel memory that I currently have is this that I did use for the attempts at this I did a couple years ago, which is this 3866 kit, but might have something else in here. I asked for some help from my friends at Corsair. Also, the best high wattage power supply I currently have is this 1200 watt Thermaltake unit. That is unless I pull the 1600 watt unit out of that build, but I don't think that's a good idea. So we'll roll with this for now, and hopefully it's enough. And Corsair did say that they're going to send me another 1600 watt unit. So I asked Corsair for the fastest quad channel memory kit that they could send. Bonus. All right. It's a 3600 megahertz kit. But don't get me wrong, 3600 megahertz. It's a nice speed. It's a good speed. It's what I recommend people get. It's great speed for a Ryzen build, especially for 3rd gen. This is faster. Maybe this would overclock well. Don't know how much time I have to overclock the memory. Maybe we'll try both. This I will definitely use though. 2TB MP600. Excellent SSD, Gen 4 SSD from Corsair. And 2 terabytes is a lovely amount of terabytes. It's definitely better than 1 terabyte. Alright, well I guess that's what I got to work with for now, so I'm going to start putting this all together. So here we are. It is the next morning, and guess what? It's over here now. Yes, instability. I couldn't figure it out. I was actually having weird issues with the graphics card driver, and it kept reloading the driver over and over again. It was having strange, inconsistent issues the whole time. I tried to do some troubleshooting and work around it, but there's just only so much I could do last night. So eventually I decided to switch over to a 10900K. So that's what I'm running right now. I think one of the issues might have been the M.2 SSD configuration. I had to put it on one side or the other of this riser card. This being a Gen 4 SSD does want some cooling on it, so the Corsair model ships with pretty good size heatsink on there, but if I'm positioning it on this riser card, then I have to put it on one side or the other. The only way that it would fit is on this side, because on this side it was conflicting with the 24 pin. I'm not sure if that was the issue or not. I did have a fan directly pointed down over this area to provide some extra cooling. I did notice that this last DIMM was significantly warmer by a good 10 degrees than the other ones, or who knows, it might have just been a weird driver issue. So long story short, I had to sort of scrap that, and I reinstalled this setup here, which is the MSI Z490 Ace, which is a motherboard that I did a lot of testing with the 10900K and otherwise. So fortunately, when I got this up and running, it's been doing okay. And in fact, I've just been running Port Royal with a single card, and I just managed to break 14,000 14,000. This is fun because usually when I'm doing benchmarking pre-launch for cards like this, I do not upload the results to 3D Mark because I don't want to post anything early. I disconnect the internet for it. So it's fun to actually be like, oh yeah, this is a valid result using an actual launch driver. I can compare it to other people and I can look at the Hall of Fame and I can see, oh look, there's me, 14,007. Not too bad at all. Up to spot 46 on that chart. But another thing I discovered last night was, to my dismay, that there are other people who have two-way RTX 3090 setups going already. KINGPIN, of course, is one of them, and of course he's winning, so there's just no way that I'm going to suddenly magically get the #1 spot on here. There's also some results coming in from China. Tony, damn you Tony. And then of course Steve, last night, already posted his RTX 3090 video with SLI. He already has a bridge, and being magnanimous Steve, he only posted a single result running at stock, so 26,352. A very nice stock jump over the super overclocked 2080 Ti results that were formerly in the lead here. But if nothing else today, my goal is to be pragmatic. I know I am not the best overclocker in the world. I know I do not have things like water blocks to slap onto these GPUs. I do have some water blocks, and Steve and Jay have both already shown that they are sort of hacking some stuff together to get some water cooling integrated here. I seriously doubt that I'm going to have the opportunity to do that today because I have about a half day to work with. So if I'm to be successful today, by any definition of that word, it's going to be in possibly getting a score up with two-way RTX 3090s before Jay, because I believe he is expecting his bridge today as well. And then second, trying to take advantage of what I do have here, which is some air-cooled RTX 3090s, and I do have a portable air conditioner. So I think I'm going to be making use of that, maybe cutting out some cardboard to direct airflow and stuff. And there's also a chance that I might have the other power supply arriving today, because 1200 watts should be enough for this configuration, but Steve in his video last night showed that just two cards by themselves, not total system power draw, were pulling over 900 watts. So we'd be getting pretty close to the maximum amount that my 1200 watt power supply can support here. So as I mentioned, I've only got half a day to work on this today. Other half is Miss Hana over here, but she has agreed to help Daddy out. We're getting some extension cords and stuff like that so we can get set up over here in the benchmarking area. Do you have fun in the benchmarking area, Hana? Yes. Yes, she does. So the AC unit here is definitely going to be, hopefully, the thing that gets us a little bit better scores. Keeping temperatures down is going to be huge. Right now I just have it pointed directly at this, and of course I still need to install that second card on there. I can monitor power draw down here, and with just a single card running the test, we're pulling just shy of 500 watts. And hey, look at that. I even raised my score just a little bit just by pointing some cool air at that. So I'm going to take a short break and play with my daughter for a little bit. And then of course, at any time, I'm expecting around 11 a.m. this morning, the SLI Bridge should arrive, and hopefully I can just pop it on and start running more benchmarks. I managed to shave really quick, but oh my gosh, I think it's here. There it is. Package has arrived. Yes, that's tape. Thank you. Oh, there it is. Focus camera. There we go. Ah, beautiful. Bridge. There it is. Here's the bridge. It's a 4-slot one. Pretty straightforward affair. All right, time to install it. Our second RTX 3090 Gaming X Trio has been installed. All we need to do is make the link. Oh no. Oh man, 4-slot. Oh, well, there's an issue I didn't, well, I kind of anticipated. I was thinking about it with the Zenith setup, the Zenith 2 Extreme, and the Threadripper setup, but this is a 4-slot spacer. I need this slot to be where the second card goes, and that's not how it's lined up in this motherboard. Ah! I was just beginning to despair of my hopes here because of this stupid spacing situation, and it's maybe better to see if you line it up right there. As you can see, top slot lines up right there, bottom slot lines up with, oh, a by-one connector. It's not really a good solution for plugging a GPU into. Here's something that I should have more of just on hand to use in situations like these. A PCI Express riser cable that will allow me to reposition the cards. I thought I was in such a good shape even after watching Steve's video last night where he managed to get two cards together, but he had two different kinds of cards. He had a Founders Edition and he had an EVGA for the Win 3 with different spacing for the actual SLI bridges. And I was all confident thinking like, oh, I've got two of the same cards, so I won't have to deal with that problem. Little did I know. Fortunately for me, Cole Pettis on Twitter reached out to me after I sent a desperation tweet saying, hey, does anyone in Southern California have a riser cable I can borrow? He's local. I'm gonna go meet him up right now. But if he actually has one of these and that makes this whole solution work, I'm gonna have to figure out a great way to say thank you to Cole, but let's go and meet him at Albertsons. Here we are at Albertsons, is a prime place for handing off PC hardware. There's Cole, my savior. I tweeted, I was like, I'm in desperate need of a PCIe extension, and Cole was like, hey, I got you. So this is a Fantex 220 centimeter one. Millimeter, yeah, same thing, metric system. All right, well, Cole, thank you. I'm going to do the benchmarks in honor of you. And when I return this, I got to figure out some better way of saying thank you. I couldn't do much today, but I just want to temporarily beat Jay. That's my goal. Temporarily beat Jay, and I might temporarily beat Steve if he doesn't do an overclock submission. As long as he doesn't start doing liquid nitrogen and stuff like that. Yeah. Thank you so much, Cole. Yeah, no problem. All right, back to work. Look at this. This is completely brand new. It hasn't even been opened. Good job, Cole. Here's my solution to hold these together. I stole the back PCIe expansion bracket from this test bed over here. That's just to provide some support and keep these at the right spacing. That should also mean that our SLI bridge can be attached now, which will also help hold this little structure together. Oh, nice. Look at that. Matching cards. That helps, doesn't it, Steve? And I'm going to take this whole thing and bring it up and set it right here, down at the end of my test bed. And hey, look how perfectly sized this RTX 3080 Founders Edition box is. It's like the exact level of my test bed, so hopefully I can just set things right there and then plug these in underneath. It's fine, everything's fine. That is precarious in sort of a fun way, but I have supported it down on this end with just a little bit of foam, and yes, it's a little wobbly on there, but the PCIe riser cables are plugged in, the bridge is plugged in, and now I just need to hook up power and just cross my fingers and hope that this works. I'm still kind of wondering if that power supply is going to arrive today or if this is going to be enough. I do have the option of setting up a second power supply just to feed some of the PCI Express graphics power. That is how I did it last time I attempted something like this, but okay. Oh, look at that. Oh, look, we have a splash screen. Oh my gosh. It might be functional. NVIDIA control panel is showing 2 RTX 3090s. SLI is enabled. SLI is enabled. Must run benchmark. Must run benchmark now. Royal. Run. Port Royal appears to be running. Hana's over here trying to sabotage me now. It's okay, Hana. We're not overclocked yet. We're pulling over 900 watts, so we still got a bit of headroom. Don't know how much this is going to jump up when I start OCing. Not too bad. 25,501. Let's compare those results online. It would appear that we are a bit higher than even the premium gaming PC 2020. Port Royal, all right. So that's going to put us in 4th place. Again, this is just a stock run. I haven't done any overclocking or anything like that. I just wanted to plug it in and run and see what happens. So now I get to do the fun part. Running another test, I have a very moderate, slight overclock on the cards, pulling just a little more wattage towards 940 or 950. This is also my test to see if my air conditioner is plugged into the same circuit as this system, because I don't think one circuit could handle both of those, but I believe it's routed out to the garage, so I think we're okay. And right now it's just blowing cold air over the cards to see if we can get those clock speeds up a little bit. Hey look, that run finished. My score improved. It's always nice when the score goes up. Again, Steve was using at least one of his cards with a water block on the GPU. I think that was helping some. That last run had just a plus 32 on the core clock. Let's bump that up to 50. A little bit more memory, a little bit more juice on the memory too. That's right. This little one is ready for nap time. She is tired, so I need to take a short break and see if I can get her to nap. But before that, I'm going to say Hana pushed the button just now in order to initiate this test. 26368.
Yes.
And there it is. Oh, look who's on top. I'm sure it's only temporary, but for now, RIPGN, Rip Steve. I did it. I'm the best overclocker in the world, except the 2 people who are ahead of me, including KINGPIN. He doesn't count though. Okay, Hana's sleeping, so I'm trying to be quiet here, but I'm going to be adding some stuff to the setup. I need more fans for maybe some more directed airflow. Right now, the air conditioner is blowing directly up at the graphics cards, but I could build a bit of a shroud to direct it even more over them. And one thing I do want to try is going from the single 1200 watt power supply solution to an add-on unit. So I grabbed another power supply here, and I can jumper that one so it will be on, and I'm going to use that to power the second card and see if that makes any difference. And incidentally, when I unboxed the Zotac RTX 3080 Trinity, I gave them crap for including these adapters in the box, but just so happens that my old PC power and cooling power supply doesn't have 3 8-pin PEG connectors, so I'm actually using it to go from 2 6s to an 8. And while I was getting all that set up, I ran times by extreme. Scored 15,645. There's a pretty significant CPU element to this test, so it's going to be hard to break world records without like a 3970X, 3990X, something like that. But hey, I was able to jump up into 29th place there. It's not too bad. With the added power supply and not doing much else, my score jumped about 80 points. Wait, how much is that? Closer to 50 points. From 368 to 421. So I think that's worth keeping there. Now I'm going to do a few tweaks from the NVIDIA settings. I'm going to switch this over to max performance. On the global settings, changing texture filtering quality to high performance. And on the specific program settings for 3D Mark power management, we're going for max performance. Let's see what that does. 26453. Again, an improvement, about 30 points. Not bad, so that improves our position. Anyway, though, I've got the system tweaks done the way I want to, so I think what further efforts I can make are going to be from pushing the overclock further, and I haven't pushed it to the point where I've encountered any instability yet, so there's probably still a little bit of headroom there. And then, of course, keeping the cards cooler than they are now. For that, I think I'll work with some cardboard. It's kind of coming together. The exhaust right here, just trying to create an enclosure that will direct all of the airflow as much over the graphics cards, through the graphics cards as possible. Added an intake fan there to force more air up and under. We also got a fan back here blowing some air at the backside of the #1 slot card. Slot. It's not really a slot. AC unit, cardboard. Actually, I think I did an okay job here, all things considered. I might add one more like little flappy piece here over the top just to really push things over the graphics cards. But I think with that, we can start up some more testing and see if this gets us any more points. All right, so here's a nice result right off the bat. Can you tell when I turned on the air conditioner? The temps just immediately started to fall off. As you can see, right here is the inflection point for that. Down to 22 degrees Celsius on GPU 2. That one's getting lots of fresh air. Well, what's this? 26,870. That's not too shabby. Let's compare that result online. Oh, look who's in second place. Look who's in second place in the... Suck it, Tony, huh? Suck it. You suck it hard. I'm just kidding. You're probably a very nice person, Tony. But I beat you now. I'm in second place. The only one who's better than me is KINGPIN, and that's fine. Me and KINGPIN hang out all the time. We're very good friends, which is why I'm okay with him doing better than me in this case. But RIPGN even more. That's right. Quick look at stats for that run. Top GPU, or the first GPU got to 53 degrees Celsius max. Second GPU only got up to 40. And then if we go down here and look at our frequencies, max frequency was 2160 on GPU 1 and 2130 on GPU 2. Looks like it was actually bouncing around in the upper 1900s and maybe getting into the low 2000s. But not too bad. Not too bad at all for an air-cooled, with assistance, overclock, in my humble opinion. My air conditioner must just be getting better and better because 26,944. I'm almost in the range of like breaking 27,000, which I feel like is an arbitrary number that would be nice to get higher than. Oh, I should validate online. One thing I did do this time was turn off Wi-Fi. Oh yeah, are you very proud of Daddy's score? Did you see the score? Say hi to everyone, Hana. Say hi. Can you say hi? Hi. Can you say hi, Daddy? Hi. Hi. Okay. Well, you guys, today has been a pretty wild ride. It's had its ups and downs. I was in the depths of despair at one point. I want to give another huge thank you, shout out, oh my gosh, I owe you so much to Cole, who came in clutch with that PCI Express extension riser cable. I would not have been able to get this running at all if he hadn't come through with that. So that was really timely, and Cole, I definitely owe you one. Right now I'm sitting pretty with a score of 26,944. I'm not going to push to break 27,000 27,000 right now because again, we do have a flex alert here in Southern California. It is still really hot outside, so I think I'm gonna cut things off for now and I might try again a little bit later this evening once it cools off a little bit and ambient temperatures are lower. Hold that thought. I did come back to it. It is nighttime now. It is cooler and that helps things. And I have been working. In fact, I just got this score right here and I think it's time for me to stop. Just gonna go ahead and validate and compare that online. Valid result, 27,402. Here's my final settings. I realized, oh yeah, you can unlock voltage here too, and that seemed to be working. I ended up with core voltage plus 16. Power limit only maxed at 102, and I have a feeling that might be an area where there's more headroom to be had, is increasing that, but I can't do that with my current VBIOS. Core clock plus 152, memory clock plus 200, and of course fans have been running at 100% the whole time. For GPU clock down here, I actually got it to be much more stable, running well above 2 gigahertz, as you can kind of see as I scroll along this line. The max was 2250 for GPU 1 and 2205 for GPU 2. And I've been at work for a little while, just sort of slowly creeping up the settings until I started to hit some instability, which I just recently started to do. So 27,132, 137, 235, 251, 367, and now finally 27,402. You hear that, Jay and Steve? That's your score to beat for now. 27,402. Okay, I'm tired, so back to the outro I recorded earlier. But for now, me and KINGPIN get to hang out and be like, look at all you other suckers, right? I'm sure that's how he thinks about it with his score of 31,545. But for real, what's the point of all this? This is like a synthetic benchmark with very debatable real-world application or use. And I think for me, it just comes down to this was fun. Since very early on when I started building computers, the thought was always in my head, what's the best, what's the most, what's the highest score you can achieve in whatever is the popular benchmark at the time with the maximum amount of cards and an overclock. I hope you guys would agree that if you, like me, had the opportunity to have the access to the hardware like this, especially really early on before more people can get access and you can actually be like, ooh, look, I'm number 2 or something like that, hopefully you would do the same thing. But I just wanted to give these cards the best shot I could at doing some early overclocking. I think I've done a pretty decent job today, and I might even have time to follow up on this, but I think I'll give Steve and Jay a chance to respond and destroy my score with their probably water-cooled cards. I want to say a huge thank you to NVIDIA for getting me that bridge very quickly, and to MSI for providing the RTX 3090 Gaming X Trio cards, especially the second one that allowed this to happen. Huge thanks again to Cole. Big thank you to Thermaltake as well, who also got in touch with me today and offered some PCI Express extensions that I didn't take them up on because this was working. And I will also say thank you to Corsair, who sent over some kind of last minute stuff for me to use with this testing. I didn't end up using any of it somehow, but I would like to thank Corsair nonetheless because they were doing their best to help me out in my endeavors here. Also, thanks to you guys for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. Hit the thumbs up button on your way out if you did, and of course check the description down below for some links, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Also check out my store at paulshardware.net for awesome merchandise that you can buy and wear, and then you will be clothed. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.